From here on out, every foul is flagrant, boy. Let's go. What's up? Came in a chokehold, more balls than Esco. All right, maybe
you are now tuned into the chat room, your favorite baller's favorite podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Chatroom Podcast. I am the Senator, and with me today, I got SA.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I got Dwayne.
What's going on?
I got Francis.
What you do, y'all? What you do?
My fault.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you fucked me up, man.
My fault. I forgot that we changed this up. I got Fanfair with me.
What's going on?
I got.
You messing up plays like the Cowboys, bro.
I am. I gotta get used to it. You know, it was 3 seasons of me just calling you one name. Now I gotta switch it over. But with us today. So I've been honored to be able to go out and watch some of the games live, but also been able to take it in online just to support. It's a team that coaches for. It's SAIT. We got the voices of SAIT. We got Jamaine and we got Joshua.
Yeah. What's good, everybody? What's good, man? Glad to finally be on and chop it up with you guys for sure.
But it is what it do.
Yeah, it looks like Jermaine's coming live from Foot Locker, yo.
I am. Y'all need a size? Y'all need a size? I got you.
Sneaker master.
I got you.
Yeah, Francis needs to get rid of his Christmas tree, bro.
Hey. My tree
You did that on purpose.
It is pretty late.
My tree stays up until like end of February.
Wow.
Okay.
End of February.
Was it for Black History too? Like, what's going on?
Nah, I just keep it lit. I'm very festive, so
Y'all are focused on the tree. I'm focused on the fact that like the curtain is down on everything except behind the tree. You can see out the window right there. You're just like, why is that happening?
Gotta showcase it. Everyone gotta know. Yeah, for sure.
But gentlemen, how you guys doing? First of all, Jermaine, shout out to that shirt, SummerSlam 94.
Hey,
as a huge wrestling fan myself,
you know
some good memories.
I gotta shout out my guy Boris, man. He's a local guy out here at a Red Deer. Put together this little boot. It's not bad. Nice. Undertaker versus Undertaker. It's good to know you're an old school wrestling fan, man, because 90s wrestling, bro, is untouched. I love that shit. I grew up on that shit. I need that shit in my life, and I'm just happy to rock the old school shit, man.
It's a classic one, but one of the weirdest matches ever.
No doubt.
The Undertaker versus Undertaker match.
No doubt. Undertaker versus Undertaker was pretty wild, but what wasn't wild was that Brett and Owen match at SummerSlam 94.
Classic, man. Rest in peace.
As a Calgary dude, man, that stuff is like holy grail stuff around here. So got to represent for SummerSlam 94 all the time.
Rest in peace to Owen Hart. One of the big things that for people that may not be into the wrestling world, AEW just started a Owen Hart Foundation.
They did.
And that stuff right there is a very big thing. And for
just sucks the finale's not at the Stampede.
Yeah.
So nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah. But like it's dope that his wife, Owen's wife, children will be able to be there for the finals. And even for an individual that didn't even wrestle in this company, because AEW didn't exist until 2 years ago. But she gave them the blessings. She said, you can use his name to do this foundation. So it's always good to see his legacy carry on like that.
Yeah, and his son Oj looks so much like him too.
Yep.
You watch that Dark Side of the Ring, you'll get a chance to see how much Oj really looks like him.
Oh man, the Dark Side of the Ring series is one of the best series that I keep up to date with because of all those old school wrestlers and stuff that you may not even know what was going on back then, but they give you the real when it comes to the whole wrestling industry. But let's get into some quick check-in real quick.
Yes.
So we're all sports fans here.
Not right now. Right now I'm still.
Well, right now you're going off of the what Brady just did to your team. So, what was y'all thoughts on Clay Day? How'd y'all feel about Clay Day? Well, what was your thoughts on it?
He looked good.
Yeah. Oh, that dunk was
I
nice.
think he looked good. I think Clay came out strong, looked good.
Yeah.
Didn't force too much. I know the game after wasn't typical Clay Thompson, but Clay Day specifically itself, he looked good there. He didn't get too aggressive, man. He looked to, just kind of let the game come to him. And they were saying that he's been ready now for about a month. So that's one thing that, you got to respect, is that they're taking their time so he doesn't necessarily get back into bad habits that maybe put too much pressure on some of those bionic parts he's got right now. So I was happy though. I'm good. It's glad to see him back, man. Clay is just such good energy. He's such good vibes all around, just to have as part of the NBA family. So when he's back on the court, man, it's good times. I'm not a super big Warriors fan, but I love seeing Clay out there for sure.
He got that throwdown, which was nice. But for the Dubs, now they got to figure out. Obviously, they're having problems with Jordan Poole and Clay, and trying to figure that out. So it's a good problem to have. And obviously, the trade deadline is 6 weeks away. I know that specifically as a Laker fan, as I'm counting down to hope to do some things in 6 weeks.
You shouldn't. Joshua, let me just let you know. You shouldn't have said that.
This guy, Joshua, just opened up a whole can of worms now.
Yeah, well, it's good.
Oh, are you now?
It's a good problem for them to have. They have a lot of weapons that they can choose. And, Jordan Peele, if they do try to, not Jordan Poole, they do choose to trade him, that's a great weapon to have. But, it's a good to have him and Clay together. They'll work it out, I feel like.
I think when I look at it, I was like, okay, this was one of the most watched games, had to watch games of the season so far. And that was from the entrance all the way to the end. Like, it was one of those ones where you wanted to hear his name get called. You wanted to see how focused he was getting off that bench, because you saw he was soaking in that moment for the entire time, right? And I think what made it even more special was the fact that Draymond Green, who's not really cleared to play, was in the starting lineup for that, right? And you could tell, like, that love that Draymond, Clay, Steph have for each other is deeper than basketball for sure, right? Like, you saw that even at the end when Steph's son was the one that presented Clay with the game ball in the locker room. Like, those moments right there were such like big moments. And this was 2 years that we were waiting for Clay to get back on the court. So,
and it goes to show, kind of, because the Golden State Warriors' reputation when it comes to that synergy and that family atmosphere was kind of like tarnished a bit when Clay went down because of the whole KD situation. So for them to kind of show like we back, you know what I'm saying, and we the family's whole again, and even the fact that Steve Nash gave him room to kind of not Steve Nash, Steve Kerr gave him room to kind of like play around, you know what I'm saying, like gave him room to take his shots. Like it's very positive for the Warriors going forward. I love it because it's just another guarantee that Lakers aren't seeing finals at all. So we know that. Like McDonald's, and I'm loving it.
I'm just looking at Coach Francis the whole time, just looking at his face. His demeanor changed completely.
He was talking big game, big game at the beginning.
As I said, always, as long as Braun and AD are there, there's nobody in the Western Conference that scares me. Period. So I'll leave it at that.
That wasn't the case last year, but okay.
But
AD got hurt. AD got hurt. We were beating the Suns, so AD got hurt.
They're both hurt.
Russ.
When
Russ
Braun,
should scare you.
Yeah, y'all got a bigger problem.
Westbrook, yes. I've never been a fan of Westbrook, but as long as Braun and AD are there, Westbrook knows he's gone. The writing on the wall is there. What we'll get for him, I don't know. Who fucking knows? As I was joking around in the group chat, I would trade him for wet tissue. But with Braun and AD there, I'm not worried about any in the West, to be honest with you.
I don't know. 80 going into injury wasn't really.
He bulked up too much. I don't like how much he bulked up. Like
he was he was 25-11 before injury.
Yeah.
But
he wasn't playing like the AD.
Bro, okay. This is the thing. People will say that. We look at his stats. Like he had games where he was like 30 and 20, bro. Before getting hurt. 30 and 20
against contenders.
He had it. Well, I don't know. Like
that Heat game.
Memphis, I think.
That Heat game.
Huh?
Then he dated Davis.
The Heat game, he did that.
Yeah, like
30 and 20 don't matter when you only play 50 games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess so, but as long as they're in the playoffs, like if you go back to the bubble, he missed it was 4 months.
Yep.
Right, 4 months gone. So, am I concerned with the Lakers? Yes, but as long as Bron and AD are there, I don't see a team like. Look how Bron is playing. Like, I don't know, man. Look how Bron and as I've been saying, if you have somebody who's playing this good, like at this caliber, the rest of the league, in my opinion, should be worried because. To me, it means that the Lakers are going to go all in to make a move to rectify and make sure that Bron is going to compete because nobody wants to be the GM that says I had this great player playing at this level and I wasted it.
He's the GM though. I think
LeBron is the GM.
LeBron made this team. Like these old dudes right now, like this is his making right now. Mm-hmm. So like, do you think he's got enough pride to bust this up right now?
He got rid of some of the better defensive players. Like,
I don't think it's a move to call. You have to bust anything up. I think before you look at Melo's stats, he was top 3 for 6th man of the year voting, right? I think right now, if I'm Lakers, like DeAndre Jordan, like they're talking about they're gonna buy him out.
Get that bougie. Get him out. Get his ass out. Please get his ass out. I can't see it anymore.
Y'all were chomping at the bits for him. And
I wasn't. I was not. You can tell. Jermaine can tell you. Jermaine can tell you. I was out on that shit. I was not in on that. His ass needs to go. THT needs to go too.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how everyone's shitting on THT now, and he was one of the guys just last year they didn't want to get rid of him. Now they're shitting on.
We could have got Kyle Lowry for him. We could have got Kyle Lowry for him.
That's what I'm saying. The Lakers turned that down. They're like, nope, we want THT.
And last year we talked about it. I said I would move THT in a heartbeat, and I don't know.
We chose him over AC. We choose THT over Caruso. Like, why?
I don't know why they kept him, but
it's the GM, bro.
But I said last year, I'll definitely
he's with LeBron's agency. He's with Clutch.
Rich Paul. He's with Rich Paul.
He's with Rich Paul. That's why THT got the bag. That's why THT's making $10 million because he's with Clutch. That's why KCP was making $18 million because he's with Clutch. You're looking to have those guys on the roster. You won't be shocked to see what agency they're with.
Yeah, Clutch. We should have moved Kuzma and them for.
No, we shouldn't have traded KCP. Shouldn't have traded KCP.
As I said when it came out, like we should have made that Buddy Hield move because
you should have.
And then save the money for DeMar.
Because Buddy Hield right now
wanted to be a Laker. DeMar wanted to be a Laker.
He did.
He thought he was.
Buddy Hield is having his best. Buddy Hield is having his best 3-point shooting percentage of his career right now.
Yeah. And look what Malik Monk is doing right now. Buddy Hield be doing that same shit.
Yep.
Who y'all got to blame? Number 6.
Yep, number 6. 100%.
I don't blame him at all. Honestly, I don't blame him at all.
You don't blame him for this massacre.
He's the one that wanted Russ. He's the one that went out and said we want Russ. And I'm not trying to hate on Russ for everything, but like, it's not working. And the defensive effort's gone there too. This was the best ranked defensive team, and look how much they've dropped in defensive efficiency with the moves we made. You really are on an apology tour to Danny Green even right now, and KCP and Kuzma because of the defensive efficiency they miss with those guys.
I don't know if it's an apology to Danny Green because I think there was that Philly game where he was the second player ever to
25 minutes, no shot at
25 minutes.
Danny Green is
0 points, 0 assists,
he just
0
ran around,
0 steals, 0 blocks.
Tried to tell you.
Really out there just running up and down. That's it.
Yep.
Getting that cardio.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta get that cardio in, right? So that's just what it is. If you can get paid a couple $100,000 for the game to just do cardio, why not? I ain't gonna hate on him. I do cardio, and I'm not getting paid for it. It's just called rec ball.
But LeBron absolutely gets the lion's share. If Lakers were succeeding right now, LeBron would be getting the praise and the glory. So LeBron's got to take the books. LeBron was very instrumental in forming this team. They did everything to make LeBron happy. Not saying Westbrook was LeBron's first, second, third, fourth, or fifth choice, but
thank you for clarifying that, because he
was instrumental in bringing it together, and there were like other options that he kind of chose Russ over, right? And they were doing all those promo videos in the beginning, showing him shooting in the gym, saying, "Oh, we got this, man. Don't worry, man. You all got to see something you haven't seen before." And then we see more of the same. Russell Westbrook.
We're seeing a lot as Laker fans. We're seeing a lot.
Yeah, Westbrook.
I think we don't know if he was the first, second, or third, fourth choice. He could have very well been LeBron's like second choice.
Do not say that. Cut the bullshit.
He could have very well been.
Cut the bullshit.
You can say that. It's just as easy as SA was to say no to that. I can easily say yes to that.
No.
We just don't know.
They were interested in Chris Paul. They're interested in Dame. They're interested in fucking Kyle Lowry. Come on, Westbrook was only an option at the end of the season because they panicked, because everyone was like, "Oh fuck, we don't know if LeBron is gonna make it through another season. We know AD's gonna make it through another season." So they panicked and they went after the Westbrook trade.
He's supposed to be the third option.
He's supposed to be.
But right now,
Westbrook would never be a third option.
Malik Monk's the third option right now. To be honest, it's Malik Monk. He's the third option.
Westbrook is the first option. They brought Westbrook in. Tried to paint some picture like Westbrook was gonna, change his role, come off the bench. No, man, Russell Westbrook is gonna be putting up shots till as old as he's gonna be. He's not gonna come off the bench. He's not gonna do any of that. And right now he's playing crunch minutes too at the end of the game. Like wild decision making.
You think it's gonna change in the postseason?
He's not gonna be there in postseason.
Ooh, it's gonna be a problem.
Who's gonna
Hopefully the Pacers are stupid enough and they can give us a bonus in Turner, but I doubt it.
All right,
that's my dream.
So here's the question. Last part of the check.
I would.
Here's the question
right now.
Sorry to dominate with Lakers.
So but no. Let's just keep it there for the check-in. Which team is going to be the crazy enough team to agree to a trade for Russell Westbrook at this point?
Have to be like a Thunder, ironically enough.
No, not Thunder. I can see any team that's in a low market. So
Pistons for Jeremy
Indiana,
Grant.
I can see Pistons. Yeah, any team in a low market, I can see them making the move for him.
Like what? Like a Sacramento or like a Minnesota?
I don't think Sacramento. I saw a rumor on ESPN. Like I posted in the group chat, but I saw a rumor where it was like AD and Westbrook for Cat and D'Lo.
Excuse me?
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah,
and people were going crazy over that one because apparently because it worked, because the trade worked, on those generated trades. Yeah, money wise.
Yeah, but
why would Minnesota do that though? Why would Minnesota want to do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think they would do it, but
I don't think Minnesota would.
They would never do that.
Would want to go out and get Westbrook. Like I can Westbrook works when he is your only option.
Yep.
He works like that. So when everything is situated around him and you got shooters, you got guys that are cut, and you have the ball in his hands, he's able to do what he does. He works in that capacity. But
what do we consider working?
It works for him. It works for him, not for the team or for wins or anything like that. Like it works for triple doubles. I don't think you can win with Russ.
You can't win a championship, but I'll argue that he'll get you to the playoffs.
So is that really working, or is that just settling?
It's working for a small market who can use the extra dollars come playoffs and the extra ticket sales, and extra concession and stuff. It works for them. So like a team like Indiana who maybe struggle to make money, or a team like Detroit, or a team like Sacramento who hasn't been in the playoffs in how long, or a team like Minnesota, like those are all teams who are they're looking to find ways to be relevant. And I think getting Westbrook, he answers all those questions, but he doesn't answer questions in regards to
winning.
You can't have Westbrook on your team as a championship contender.
No.
The problem with the Pistons. Oh, sorry, I do.
No. I was just saying, yeah, you're right. Like you're just making your team a little more relevant in terms of to the media, but that is not going to translate to anything. It really won't.
No, matter of fact, you're probably going to hurt the young guys on your team because now it's the Russ show.
Sure. Yeah,
like Russ.
Why would you give the Pistons would fuck up Cade, right, Jay? Like if you're going to the Pistons, you're going to mess up Cade. No. Like maybe you're talking about irrelevant teams. Maybe you look at Orlando then, right? They're looking to move. So they're having that problem right now, right? It's a good problem, but like the Fultz, Suggs, and Cole Anthony problem. If you're the Lakers and you could get Cole Anthony for Russell Westbrook right now, you will take that in a second. That is a win.
1 for 1?
Honestly, yes. I would rather have Cole Anthony right now.
You would.
Orlando would have to give up Cole Anthony.
No, Orlando would laugh in my face. Orlando laugh in my face. But yeah, I'd rather have Cole Anthony right now if I could.
If you're Lakers, you like as much as I say trading for wet tissue, you can't do that because then you essentially lose KCP, Kuzma,
and Trez.
You meet Trez for essentially Cole Anthony.
Yep. Yeah. But you probably have to do Jonathan Isaac too to get the trade to work because I've been on the trade machine a few too many times. But you could get Jonathan Isaac as well, who's probably not going to play this year. But that's kind of the trade you would have to do with an Orlando.
Russ is still on his Houston max, right? He's still getting paid out of Houston.
Next year he's a free agent. Next year he's a free agent. So technically,
next year he has the player option, so he can actually pick up for for 40 something mil.
That's a deterrent
40.
Right there.
It's 48. It's 48 million. It's 44 this year. It's 48 next year. Yeah.
Wow.
Major deterrent. Deterrent. Bro.
So it's not like it's an expiring contract that this is the last year that you have to pay him out. This is you are picking him up with a huge.
I guess the big question for y'all is why would Philly consider it in any way for Ben Simmons? And how does he look on Philly?
I mean, I hope so. I hope they're super going to do it, but they won't do it.
They won't do it. There's no way in hell.
Chance.
Yeah.
Philly doesn't want their problems, man.
No,
you're trading problems for
Daryl's
problems.
Already had him, right? Daryl Morey's already had him on Houston.
Daryl paid his ass.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah, that's the big thing. So I would hope, I hope every GM in the NBA would take Westbrook, but
it's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough to get.
Not all GMs think like LeBron, bro.
If anyone wants a Russell Westbrook Lakers jersey, it's for sale.
This might be.
I need a new dishcloth.
This might be the NBA's first 8-team trade for one player.
It might be. Yeah, it's going to be such an interesting trade deadline because you're going to be looking if the Lakers can get rid of Westbrook, and then this whole Ben Simmons saga, right? If that's finally going to end, right?
Yeah, who knows? I think they fumbled the bag because I don't know who's gonna give up premium stuff for Ben Simmons right now. They should have done that.
Would you do that Sacramento trade, D Fox and Harrison Barnes, if you're Sacramento?
Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
If I'm Sacramento, easily. If I'm Sacramento, if I'm Philly, I would think against it because Ben Simmons is still I still think people forget. Ben Simmons was runner-up for defensive player of the year last year, 5-time All-Star. He's a really, really, really good player, really valuable player.
But when the lights are bright,
he showed his deficiencies, and he's young too, right? So if I am Sacramento, I'm doing it. If I'm Philly, I'm still trying to hold out for something else, but at this point, you just gotta take what you get.
You gotta take what you get.
I don't know if I do it with Sacramento and he just kiboshed their cold as ice trick that they did.
Yeah.
All right, Coach.
It's essay.
Oh yes. So as a comment, I was a commentator myself for PlayStation and Cineplex. So this particular episode I was really excited about, just to talk with fellow commentators, especially in the actual game of basketball. So, let's start talking about it by, telling us what have been your favorite play-by-play calls in sports.
Oh, wow. Jay, you want to go first?
Hey, man, we can bounce it back and forth. One thing that's always for sure is
live show right here.
Gus Johnson in the in March Madness, bro. Every year, Gus gives you something wild. And I love hearing what he's got, man, from the classic Victor Oladipo calls, and he's out there jumping on the table, ripping his tie and stuff. Gus goes wild. That's never been my style of announcing, but I do enjoy it as somebody who's watching. So Gus Johnson in March, I'm there, man. I'm ready to hear him all the time.
Yeah, almost anything Kevin Harlan does. Obviously, the LeBron James, no regard for human life. It's a great one. If you get a chance, if you're driving and have to listen to the football game, Harlan does the Monday Night Football games, and he does such a great job. We've seen when like the rabbits are on the ground or something, and he does commentary on that. He adds such a great sense of energy to the calls that he gets to have.
And that voice, man, that voice that Harlan's got is like unmistakable. That's definitely his biggest quality for sure.
Yeah,
obviously. Mike Breen has definitely grown on me. He's
grown on me too. Because at first, like about 20 years ago, I wasn't so big, but like after so many bangs, man, like you start.
I agree. Yeah, he's becoming a synonymous like figure now. In that world. Yeah,
you got to wonder when the bang's gonna come, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt. Josh, what about our guy in Charlotte, man? What's his name? Eric Young?
Eric Green. Yeah. Amazing. I've gotten a few people that have actually texted me. I'm like, I listened to the Hornets broadcast, and it kind of reminded me of you and Jamaine a little bit. I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh man, yeah, he brings that like pro wrestling persona to the realm of basketball, man, with that thing, and I'm all about that, as y'all know already. So he kills it for sure.
Kind of, he's. I mean, obviously, with the recent past week of Madden passing, no one really did it better with kind of explaining the ins and outs of football than he did on that side of things.
Yeah,
he's great, but like you go to the wrestling side of things, old school Vince McMahon. It's kind of one of the things I principles of my broadcast on. I think it's underrated. Old school Vince McMahon on a broadcast. He's great
for sure.
I always put for me. I'll put for wrestling. You can't go over Jim Ross. Jim Ross was the person
that
JR cultivated like so many different things, right? For football right now, Tony Romo is killing it as a football.
Yeah, he is.
Commentator.
Shout out them Cowboys.
Right? Like those two right now, for me, I give a third, Pat McAfee. If
he's on SmackDown and he's been hilarious.
If you watch him on SmackDown, but then if you also see he does his show 5 days a week, and I usually don't like to promote other shows, but Pat McAfee's show is amazing, and like the guests that he gets on and the way how he does the interviews are super dope. So you gotta check those three guys out for sure.
No doubt. Definitely. What do y'all think of the Manning cast? What do y'all think of that?
I think it's good. But you can see the technical difficulties that they have all the time on it, right? Like it is something that would have been better if Peyton and Eli were in the same place, and then they were doing it, because it's kind of like doing it on Zoom, and somebody always has a technical difficulty, right? Like but the way how they break down the game, though,
it's knowledgeable for sure.
It's inside. No, it's definitely inside. It's good. Eli surprised me, man. I didn't think he had it in him. I didn't think he had like this kind of, I don't know if I call it charisma, but like this kind of just like magnetic personality style in him. Like I'm locked into Eli all the time, man.
But that's the same way people thought about Peyton before Peyton started to step out, right? Like when Peyton did Saturday Night Live, or when he did the NFL awards or the golf. There's so many different things. But he started. People just thought he was just locked into football. That's it. No personality, locked into football. Then when they started to see his personality, it was like, yo, Peyton is funny. All right, cool. Eli never had the shot that Peyton did, but he's starting to bring it out on this.
Yeah. Damn, no love for Jack Armstrong?
No. Him and Leo Routins, they're the fuck like this. Watching Raptors and hearing Jack Armstrong, Leo Routins, like, it really makes me miss Chuck. Like Chuck was great. You know what I mean? Like,
he was great.
Swirsky,
Chuck was great.
Yeah. Jack Armstrong.
Devlin's good. Devlin is good.
I like Devlin. He's solid.
Just bring the women's sportcast back, please.
Yes.
Just do that. Just do Kia Nurse, do Kayla Gray, do all of them all over again. And
that was good. Yeah, shout out to Kia Nurse too. She's been killing it in the TSM booth. Yeah.
So how did you guys just get your start as a play-by-play color commentator?
I guess I'll kind of take that for now. I'm actually a broadcast student. Jermaine's not. Always people kind of confused that he is, but I took 2 years broadcasting. but he kills it. He doesn't need it. He's got the basketball knowledge.
I definitely am, for sure.
So I went to SAIT for 2 years for broadcasting, and I internship down at Fox Sports in Washington, in Spokane for a bit. And then I had kind of been doing the play-by-play for a while there. And I had kind of gone through a few iterations of some color guys here and there. They were fine. But Jay had always kind of been in my ear, like, yo, I really want to do this. And then we finally were able to connect. And then that magic kind of got to spark. So it's been a nice mix ever since we've been able to hook up and make it work.
Yeah, straight up. And for me, man, no formal training, no schooling in the field at all. Before I hopped in the SAIT booth, I had never once color commentated anywhere. And like I hopped in that seat, man, and I knew I'd be a natural. I knew it. Like Josh said, I was getting at him. I'm like, hey, man, let me get in there. I know I could do it. I haven't done it before, but I know I could do it. Sure enough, first game came around, man, and then we knocked that thing out of the park. And like, it's funny with us because like with Josh and I, it's we got no practice. We're not working on things. Like, honestly, we don't, man. We sit down and like, since we were friends before this, we kind of already know what more or less direction the next one's going to go. So once we get in there and start making it happen, man, it's just magic. And it's like, it's organic too, because like I said, we're not practicing this stuff. We're not going over our lines or anything like that. I mean, I don't want to put words in Josh's mouth, but for me, I'm not doing any of that, man. I'm sitting down and talking about what I see. It's kind of
been tough too, because now I'm doing stuff for the Dinos, and no shot to the color guy I have there. He's a great professional, great broadcaster, but man, is it different not having Jay there and kind of going like Jay says, we don't come out and like, hey, here's all the stats for y'all. Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons, when, RIP to John and his family would talk to us and be like, yo, it's so nice listening to you guys out in Washington or Chuck's family would talk, say like, oh, my family listened to it, or Wooly's Melissa Wooly's family, because we don't come with all these stats. We're just kind of, number one, trying to get people to shine during the game and everything like that, and just call the best basketball game and talk like how basketball players would talk about the game. And doing the stuff now with the Dinos, it's great. I love it, but it's very robotic in the sense of here's the stats, here's how you'd have to talk about everything. And it's great. And I'm still trying to add my style and everything like that, but it's been very weird to throw to someone that's not Jamaine and doesn't have the same flair and energy and charisma that he has. So it's definitely something that you have that right partnership in the booth. I'm learning is doing the stuff with the Dinos this year. It's why I'm so excited to go back to SAIT next year to next week to have a SAIT game. You can't catch that chemistry. It's a really rare thing to catch that chemistry. And I think people have been able to notice that when we've had those broadcasts, because I think the greatest compliment we've had, Jay, is coaches have said, like, I mute half the games we listen to for gameplay when we go back and practice. And for y'all, I don't do that.
Yeah. No, that's a huge compliment for sure to hear that from coaches. And just to go back on the stats thing from Josh, like we get our stats in there, but we're just not going out there and just reading stats off the website because anybody can do that, man. Anyone can pull up the website, just read the stats, and you can see the stats, this, that, and the third, see who got how many of this, that. But it's really about how we're bringing the game to you sonically. And it's just like we're trying to make it an experience, right? So like not only is a game filled with stats and who gets what, but it's also there's feelings, there's emotions, there's things that go into game that are all part of that game process that I feel makes a better broadcast when you're hearing it, as opposed to just somebody coming out and telling you what the score is and how much time is left.
And then we try to, I have like my kind of catchphrases that I get with, and we get pop culture references. We'll have a reference to the Avengers or DC or something I will, or wrestling. And, we kind of roll with that and make it work like that to, bring in the crowd with everything.
For sure.
Dope. That's dope.
All right, so fellas, take us back to your first game. So what can you guys remember from that, and how'd you guys feel? Like, what were that feelings that went towards that first game?
I remember, so before we even did the first game, I met Jay at his house actually, and we simulated a game of NBA 2K to practice the first time, and just because Jay kind of wanted to kind of go through the run through of everything, right? Yeah. And like we were done within like the first time. I was like, all right, I get it. And pretty much as soon as we did that first game, we kind of just clicked. Like Jay really only has to really pause from talking at one point in the entire game when I do my 3 call. Other than that, like he was just a natural right away, and we just kind of gelled right away. And I think having that connection beforehand really helped with that.
Yeah, no, straight and bringing up that when we fired up the 2K to even try practicing it, I remember it went shit. Like 2 minutes in, I was like, nah, I don't know, man. I can't. It wasn't working. Yeah. Like the only way to really develop that chemistry between us was to get in there and do it. And I felt like once we sat down for that first game, which by the way, I remember being super nervous for. Like I don't know why, I was wild nervous for it because I'd never done anything like that before. So like when I sat down and did it and found how easily it came to me and like how much it was just like, okay, there's nothing really to be nervous about. I'm just kind of, talking about what I see, talking with one of my homies here on the side. And that's it, really. That's all I'm really here to do. So like once I kind of got through that, about 2-3 minutes in the game, like I was super comfortable and acting like I've been doing it for years.
I guess kind of a side question for Jay, because 6 weeks ago, you actually did a game without me for the first time. How was that like?
It was different. It was different, man, because that's the first game I'd ever done without you. So, like, sure enough, a couple times I called him Josh, and his name started with a J too. So I called him Josh a couple times and things like that. I was getting super confused.
He's a lot more, and he's again much like the color guy I have, who's great, and he's great, but very much more by the book. This is how you do it,
for sure.
Traditional broadcaster,
he's got that different style, and he had talked about that before. And after our first game, he's like, "Man, I like how casual you are. I like how you can, just kind of volley back and forth. There's not some certain set script that we have to do and this, that, and the third." And he is a lot more regimented than Josh was. So it was kind of a learning curve, but shouts to Jeremy. He kind of tried to mold to me a little bit where he's like, I'm gonna loosen the tie a little bit. We're gonna have some fun. And it worked out. It turned into a pretty decent broadcast. So
it did.
But it was different. It was different doing it with somebody other than you for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the questions.
Yeah, man, we keep talking. I can talk forever if we want to talk more.
So what are your thoughts on the direction of the men's and the women's team this year?
Well, the women's team, it sucks they lost. Seeing that the other day, that's a real bummer that they lost. Unfortunately, one of their players. I won't get too much into the political side of things, but decision that kept her from playing. But they have an ear back from the Dino, so that's exciting to see her back. For the women's team, it's just really exciting to see where they are. They just have this energy to them right now, and it's good to see them kind of rise. They're led by a senior in Rashina Fogo, who may not be their best player, but I think she's a tremendous leader. And Beer and Alicia, I think, are doing a good job coaching them up. So it's been really fun to watch them and their rise that they've been able to have. And for the men's team, it's just one of the more dominating rosters. And just, I think with Marty and Francis and everyone there for the coaching staff, it just added a different dynamic. Before you guys all got there, I had, 4 years or so beforehand. And shout out to Mike. Mike's a great guy and he's a great coach. And I don't want to take any shots at him, but it just never worked. And there was a lot of rough games with those men's team. And then this new coaching staff came in and just added an establishment. You can tell it's just a different attitude, different recruiting that this men's team has had, and they've been the shine of the ACC, being 4 times in a row ACAC champions. Now, unfortunately, haven't got that national championship yet. Have been real close a few times. It's coming. It's coming. But maybe in 2023 they'll be able to take one. It's home safe, but hopefully they can get one this year and kind of be retaining champions. But yeah, it's been nice to watch that men's team. They've just been dominating. Jay.
Yeah, man, no doubt. The women have been like a huge surprise to me this season. Like, I can't say I expected, an undefeated first half of the season going into it this year. They lost a bunch of seniors last year, had so many new faces in the squad this year. So to see them kind of band together and just kind of make it happen, kind of crumbs to bricks, essentially, something out of nothing, man, it's super dope to see, especially right from courtside like that. And the men, man, like, where do you start? Like, I feel like Josh and I's job is so much easier because they're so goddamn talented, man. They go out there and they run teams out the gym. It's crazy. Like, if you're looking at like the last 4 years or so, minus the COVID year, like it's too easy for these guys out there, man. And like the way they play, super, most of the time they play super unselfish. They've got such high skill players that can shoot from anywhere on the court, man. It makes Josh and I's job so much easier when the guys are so talented. So the men, man, like, sky's the limit for them, no doubt.
And just great human beings on both sides, for the men and the women. I've been broadcasting on, all types of sports, right? I've done hockey, I've done volleyball, I've done track, I do stuff for Canada Soccer. And it's very rare to have the athletes come up and bond a connection with you, and just having so many great human beings they've had, talking about John, one of the greatest human beings that we've gotten to have to interact with. RIP, miss him every day. Chuck, great. Murph coming up and talking to us consistently, or Alicia or Rashina on the girls team, having Coach Berkey or Coach Beer come up and talk to us, having that interaction as well. It's just a great job of, and that kind of goes to the recruiting side for both, but specifically with the men, just they have recruited high caliber people. And then you see a great job with the coaching. You look at a guy like Talik Ross, right? He is definitely in some ways a project, and you are watching that big guy. He is slowly getting better and better every single game that you watch. And I think the coaching, that's because we have Coach on here, but I think the coaching on this squad is a big part of where they are. And I can tell you from being there before, the coaching has increased exponentially, and it's because they're getting high caliber human beings in that program.
So, appreciate that for sure.
I got a bonus question. A quick bonus question.
Go ahead.
I may or may not. May not be personal for me. What advice would you give to like an up and coming commentator? Just like how to break in and kind of just make your mark and go up the ranks.
You just have to kind of do everything. I mean, in some ways, Jay got lucky that he knew where I was, because I don't think people would have got to see his talent. Now he's, does the YYC Sneaker Fair, and he gets to be the host for that, and people get to see how talented he is on the mic regardless. You can't teach mic skills like Jamaine has. It's like putting a Dwayne Johnson on a mic, right? People see how much charisma and how talented they are. Jay just has that charisma that you just can't teach. You can't teach that, right? I've been among kids in broadcasting school, and they don't have what Jay has, right? We had a class where it's called ad-libbing class, and you have to talk for 5 minutes just making bullshit up. I was one of the only people that could do it. Jay could do that too. That's just shit you just can't teach. If you want to be in this though, you just have to kind of do everything. And I'm increasing my value as a broadcaster right now. It's how I started to do stuff with Canada Soccer, do some stuff with Canada basketball on the side as well, and now get this Dinos gig. It's kind of just having to do everything and just talk to the right people, right? And I think, it's getting the guests too, right? I'm sure you guys have had a lot of good guests. We've been able to have that with our pod in the Fresh Take Network, talking to guys now, have Jermaine Franklin coming on next week, but talking to guys like Ardo Cal or Nabal Kareem, who now just went to Turner Sports, getting to talk to those type of people and making those connections. The connection side is a huge part of it as well.
I would say just be organic, man. Be literally true to who you are. Like, if it's something that you're not necessarily passionate about and you try to bring that across, it's going to come through that it's not something you know about. Like, be passionate, be organic. And honestly, those connections and things that Josh were mentioning, those will come through naturally if your talent is just shown. So like me personally, I love the game of basketball. And like, I've heard that really comes across in my announcing, and not, I'm not just out here talking shit. Like, I'm saying, legitimate parts of the game that people can like tangibly look at and see. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I've been asked to do like a whole bunch of other things, a whole bunch of other sports. And like, maybe I should take the gigs, but like, I haven't, because I don't feel like I'm super into those sports and like my love. And I feel like that'll come across in my announcing. And I really don't want
baseball, Jay. We want baseball.
I will do baseball for sure. I'd love to do baseball.
So bad.
A lot of top
curling.
Time. Tons of top time. Right. But curling, like I would try, but if someone came up to me, I feel like my lack of the knowledge of curling would come through in my announcing. So if I would say, one piece of advice is just be authentic, be super authentic, and like just straight up, honestly, it sounds cliche as hell, but just be you, man. Like, be you on the mic, and like that will draw people in naturally, because your real you will come out in that authentic, organic way for sure.
So I want to say something to you, Jermaine, because off of that point that you just made, right? I think you doing other sports and authentically showing that you're learning that sport while you're watching it is going to come off even more impactful than if you already know the sport going into it. Just because you'll be with that fact of people that may not actually know the sport, they'll be learning with you. And you can see when certain commentators and stuff like that, you can see when they grow. You can see when they're starting to understand broadcasting more than just the sport, or the sport more than broadcasting, because that comes across. So maybe you taking that opportunity and doing that yourself too will also help increase your fan base, your support, but also the more opportunities that you have, because you're just showing that authentic self of yourself going across.
Maybe something to that. You're right. Like, that's super relatable. Like, everyone can kind of relate to being somewhere where like they don't really know what's going on. So you might have something there, man. I may get on there. I may not know all the super like in-depth terms of curling and what the angles are and stuff like that, but if I just go out there and lay that out, that
sweeping
movements.
Anytime I give those, anytime I look at stuff, I look at Chuck when Chuck first started inside the NBA, right? Like he knew nothing about broadcasting. He was just a personality, right? So it was, how do you turn that personality into also a broadcaster? And you can see the growth from when he started to even him in, I think it's called the Steam Room, their podcast with him and Ernie. You can see how like they've grown. Himself has grown from day one to that point now, right? He still knows he has to be that raw personality, but he also can do it in a broadcasting form, which is even more impactful and comes across more impactful. And then he's more loved for that, right? I always say when it comes to me on this podcast, I was not actually supposed to be on this podcast, and then I end up hosting it. It makes no sense whatsoever, but that's what happens, right? So like you can see from my day one to now, like growth in me doing the hosting thing, because I wasn't even supposed to do it.
Look at that. See, you asked me for advice, bro, and I'm taking advice from you. I appreciate that.
Well, that's the way how it's supposed to be, right? Everyone does.
All right, definitely.
We're about to get the best commentated curling game ever.
It's about to be on. It's about to be on.
All right. So this next little segment we're gonna do for you two, quick five. So I ask you all a question, y'all just give me an answer quickly. All right. Your all-time SAIT men's basketball starting five.
Ooh. You want to go first, Jay? Or you want me to go first?
Okay. All right. I'll go. Okay. At the one, I gotta have the Thon Spencer. Number one. I liked his ball handling skills, and like maybe it's because it was my first season there. It was the first point guard I really saw hold it down. So that's my guy. Two, got to put John Almighty. All the time. Come Almighty. On now. Exactly. Got the sniper scope out. Three, man, come on now. What would a three be if it wasn't Chuck? Chuck's got to be there. Got to be that three. Burner. Exactly. Burner. Got to be three, man. Can play four positions easily. Five, maybe, I'm sure. Four, Murph, for sure, man. Got to be Murph, man. I saw him hold it down at the four plenty of times, especially in my first two seasons at SAIT. Got to be Murph. And at the five,
my guy.
Oh man, that's your guy. But my guy, oh man, it's tough. I'm battling right now because Ross, he's so big. So much could happen with Talik Ross. But Jamie, man. I like Jamie, man. I saw him in transition a lot. And like, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Jamie. That gives me five guys that are all within like 2 to 3 inches of each other, can all switch positions, get that high pace going. There it is. That's my five right there.
All right. The one is so difficult, man. You've had Thorn, you've had Ian. Out of love and a 5-year true senior, I'm gonna do Nicholas Molina. Shouts to Makazar as well. Shouts to Justin Makazar. Flamethrower, Justin Makazar. But I gotta give it a shout to Nick, because he held it down. True senior SAIT Trojan. Obviously the two, forever retire the number 11 in that gym as soon as we can. Please, John Smith.
Sure.
At the 3, Chuck Burner. At the 4, now this is the front is tough in some ways of where you put Murph, but Murph is in that front court no matter what. And then it's just it's a tough situation of potentially doing Shane Stumpf, who was there before I went there, but he wasn't part of those championship teams. So I don't know where you put him in that front court, but I'm going Jamie Mua, who was him and Murph in that front court. They were deadly up front.
Well, the switch, play any positions, get the transition going, man. That's unbeatable. Yeah. That was like peak SAIT basketball right there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's switch it up. We'll go all-time women's basketball starting five.
Ooh. Okay, well, point's easy, right, Jay? Point's Alicia.
That point is easy. Yeah, no doubt. Point's I gotta go Alicia Tan. That's easy. Yeah. I mean, is it an unpopular move to put Baker at the 2? Because that like it's recency bias, I know, but man,
I was gonna maybe put Wooly there.
Okay, well, here. Okay, we'll go my squad. Yeah. It's gonna be an unpopular move. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for it, but I gotta put Baker at the 2.
Yeah, she was mean.
3. You know what? Let's go a near wall, man. Especially like the last ball I saw from her prior to the season, right before COVID hit, she was really starting to improve. And I was really excited to see what she could make happen. At the 4, let's go Martina Allen, man. She brought that dog. She brought that dog, man. She had that snarl on her face, and like I like seeing that a lot of the time. She brought kind of that energy. And at the 5, even though it was only for one season, okay. Mel Thera. Oh, I'm sorry, Mel. I got to go. No. I'm gonna do it. Mel Thera. That's it. That's my 5. That's my 5. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know who you are out there. I'm so sorry.
Alicia definitely is the point. Maybe the greatest women's basketball player in SAIT history. I mean, she has all the records. I'm going to go with Wooly, who was just notorious, just unbelievable defender for that squad. Before Jay's time, Katie Beard, she was deadly from the tray. In the front there, we're going to go Rachel Olszewski, who was mean on the glass, and then Logan Monks, who was also, I think, a little bit before Jay's time as well.
I don't recognize the name. Must have been
also deadly on the glass. Shouts to Skylar McDonald, who held it down for a little bit.
No, that's unfair. See, now we can't be doing the bench people now. No, we can't be doing the bench because I can do that too.
Yeah. No, let's see what the shouts are. And Sheena, yeah.
All right. 5 dinner guests, dead or alive.
5 what? Oh, 5 dinner guests.
Yeah, dead or alive.
Oof. Man, that one's tough.
Wow.
All right.
Cool. I'm gonna keep it all together. So let's go. Josh, you want to take dead or alive?
I'll take it dead right now.
You take dead?
Or Kobe.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead then.
I mean, I'm just gonna I'd go Kobe for sure. It's tough, man. It's a tough one. Chris Jericho. I think be a really good sit down. John Hamm. Man, that's a tough one. Jeez, it's just so on the spot, right? It's so on the spot. You know you're gonna forget someone, right?
Sure.
Man, Larry David. They need some comedic.
That'll be a funny ass conversation.
I need some comedic time in there. So I need some Larry David there. And then we got to give something for the ladies. We kind of all these dudes here. Just trying to think. Jay, you got any? You got your 4? You got any 5 yet?
I'm gonna just freestyle them. So
sure.
Like, I don't have them. No,
okay. Man, I cannot think of anyone else right now off the top of my head. Let's just go and Bill Simmons.
Okay. Simmons go.
Okay.
So which one was for the ladies?
I guess I didn't do
Okay, you know what? Since Josh did all those, I'm gonna do all women. I'm gonna do all women. Good. So the ladies are represented. I got you, Josh. I got you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
All right. So first, we are gonna do my first love as far as women's basketball goes. Cheryl Swoops. Got to sit down. I got to hear from Double S. For sure, legendary ball player. Second, oh man, we're going way back, but I do want to hear what Harriet Tubman has to say. Okay. I do.
Damn, nice.
I'm gonna sit Harriet down at my table. Okay. Harriet's getting to sit down. Third, let's say oh, you know who? What's my girl on the Aces, man? Liz Cambridge.
Liz Cambridge. Yes.
Yeah, let's talk to Liz.
Yeah, I know you want to talk to her.
I think we all want to talk to Liz.
Okay. Well, it's my table, y'all. So
I know why.
I'm talking to Liz. Okay, let's go. Number 4. Okay, let's sit down, Michelle. Let's get Michelle Obama at the table as well.
Okay, yeah.
Polarizing, I know, but let's talk.
I can't believe I left Barack off my table. Now I feel like an idiot.
So, hey, man, if you only have 5, you only have 5.
I know.
All right. And 5th, Okay, fifth. Let's go with. You know what? This is. I want to talk to my 3-time removed great grandmother. Just because, I want her to see one of the newest versions of her family. And I just want to talk to her, man. I always wanted to talk to people way back in my family. Although obviously it'll never happen, but I always thought it would be just a dope concept to be able to speak to generations way before you, just to kind of see where stuff would be. So that's my table, man. It's all ladies. It's all ladies. I got you covered, Josh. Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, I got one more for y'all. Okay, so for Jamaine, we'll go top 5 shoes you own.
Okay, that's easy. That is easy.
Got that one ready.
Okay,
It's like 1%.
He probably has them in the frame. I was gonna say,
I'll be pulling them out if I could. I'll be pulling them out. But I got some gems. So first one, I'm gonna go with an OG pair of 1998 Kevin Garnett ones. KG was one of my guys coming up. So to get a pair of his shoes, I only got them earlier this year too. So to get a pair from 1998, still wearable, Grail for sure. Love those joints. Second, let's go with a player exclusive pair that were made for Cuttino Mobley when he played for the Clippers. Philly Cat himself, Zoom BBs. I love PEs. I got a lot of player exclusives. Shoes that, if y'all don't know what player exclusives are, they're shoes that are made for the actual NBA players themselves. So I'm talking stuff right up out the locker room into my hands. So that's another pair. Third, we're going to go with the Air Jordan 11 in any colorway, in any color. I've got 32 pairs of Air Jordan 11. So
good Lord.
One of 32. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. I've been collecting shoes for 20 years now, and I've had the same size foot for those 20 years. So I've got them, as you can see, just sitting, stacked.
That should be widescreen.
Fourth. Oh, you know what? I got this pair of Gators that my dad gave me when I was young, of lime green Gators that I wear only on Sundays for special occasions. Yeah, man, I'm coming out like that. That's how I'm
keeping it P on Sundays.
I got to, man. I got to. My dad gave it to me when I was young, sentimental. They're kind of tore up now, but they mean everything to me. So I got to have that in the top 5. And fifth,
way back.
Fifth. Let's go with a pair of Michael Johnson. I know y'all remember him, 96 Olympics.
Those are beautiful. Those ones.
Yeah, the Zoom JSTs, black and gold from the Olympics, track spikes. I can't even wear them because they're so fragile, but just having them in my collection, I'm over the moon about. So to have real pieces of sentimental things like that in my collection, it means something to me, man. This is not just a bunch of random shoes. These all mean something to me. They're all pieces of nostalgia, or things that I remember, situations on TV or that I was wearing. So to have those real meaningful pieces, it means a lot to me. So that's my top 5. But ask me tomorrow and it'll be completely different.
That's dope. So wait. So before I go over to Josh, one question. How many shoes do you think you own?
I know exactly.
Jermaine, don't tell nobody, because the reseller game right now is huge right now. You don't want to be a target. These guys might be looking at you like, yo, look at this guy. Don't give any more information. Don't give any more information.
Trying to hit a lick.
The reseller world is crazy right now.
Okay.
You need to be anonymous.
I'll say this. I'll give you right here, but I will say this. I will say I have more shoes than there are days in the year.
Oh my God.
I'll say that. I'll keep it there.
Wow.
We gotta bleep
it there. Don't let my mom or dad hear this, bro. They're going. Don't let them hear this.
They probably think he has 60 shoes.
That's right.
He probably has them in storage.
That's crazy.
Oh man,
that's crazy. So that's crazy.
It's substantial.
That's like my girl's friggin' dream right there, having a shoe room and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's every girl's dream.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, my sister's a big shoe head. She is. Yeah, she is. 500. She's been in magazines and all this stuff. She's worked with Foot Locker, contracts with Adidas. She's huge.
Okay, keep it fresh.
You know what time it is.
Shout out her. All right, and for Josh, quick one for you. Top 5 albums of all time.
Wow. That's a tough one. My number 1 album of all time is probably Warren G. Regulate. It's number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, that's number 1. Number 2 is probably Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
Dope.
Number 3. Now I'm gonna get corny for a second. Huey Lewis in the News.
Yo, that's a good album. I'm not gonna lie. That's music that I low key like love. I don't tell nobody. That's a dope album. Yo, I'm glad someone said it. I'm glad he likes that.
Now he's telling our whole audience now.
Because I don't need to feel self-conscious about some of my music tastes. I'm glad Josh liked the album.
Right. Thank you.
Now he's free up.
You. Number 4 is Journey Escape.
Okay.
And then number 5 is probably Doggy Style by Snoop, to be honest.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
I remember the first time I got that album. That was like one of the first rap albums I ever got. And man, did I get an ass whipping from my parents for that album. That album got broken. There was a cassette. That album got broke real quick. Because I was only like 7 or 8 when that came out. And that album was not around very long. But my cousin Adam was able to get it to me when he came back from Toronto. And I got a few listens to it. And then, it wasn't around for very long.
Solid album. Solid list.
All right. We reached a part of the podcast where we get to promote our social medias and anything else that we might be working on. So, Josh, seeing that you just ended off that story, why don't we kick it off with you?
Yeah, so on top of doing all this, I did the Dinos broadcast last night. I proudly do the SAIT broadcast for almost a decade now, and run the podcast network, the Fresh Take Network, where you can find Jay on there with the YYC Soldiers podcast. They got a real cool project coming up here. We do stuff with the Sea of the Dead guys, Tales from the Sea, where they get a lot of great personalities around Calgary. So we get to have them talk to some of those people. And we're almost coming up to 9 years doing Fresh Take now. It's been a great time. We had our most profitable year ever. We're getting sponsors and everything now. And just as far as I can see the shield and everything back there that you got, just as far as the pop culture side, that's the side we've really expanded on, and having these Disney Plus shows and getting to be and show our nerdism side of things has been one of the highlights of everything. That was our highest downloaded shows this year, was the podcast. We did the rundown where we talked about pop culture. So having these Marvel shows and having these DC shows and these Star Wars shows, that's kind of been the highlight of the past years, getting to talk about a lot of those things. And having Adam Diesel Power, who's one of the heads of YYC Sneakers with Jamaine, but also one of the head of the Calgary film crew that does the film festival out here, getting to have him and talk about movies and everything like that. It's been a nice growth of having him on the show and getting to talk about those kind of things. So Fresh Take Network 42 on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me bitching about Raider games and Laker games, and hopefully in the summer Blue Jays games if the MLB comes back, at Jawa 31 on IG and on Twitter.
Dope. Jamaine.
Yeah, well, like Josh said, easy place to find us, acactv.ca, commenting the SAIT Trojans all season long. You can hear us, so easy place to find us and hear our lovely voices. But besides that, as Josh mentioned, I am part of a sneaker group here called the YYC Soldiers. We're a community about bringing sneakers, not only the sneakers themselves, but the memories they take, and also everything brought together into making a real tight-knit community here, family type deal. We did have a bunch of sneaker shows going on here over the past 7 years. We were kind of knocked off with COVID a little bit, but we're looking to come back for 2022. So hopefully, God willing, that can happen. Hopefully it goes down. So easy place to find me on Instagram is Jamaine_45th. Be warned, you're going to see a lot of shoes. I like a lot of shoes. A lot of shoes.
But some great NBA throwback commercials too.
Yeah, that's right, man. I'm hitting the nostalgia. Man. I'm a kid of the 90s. So like a lot of the 90s stuff you're going to see on my page, and we'll bring it all back. I love nostalgia. So YYC Soldiers on Instagram, Jamaine_45th. on Instagram. Find me there, talk to me there. Let's chop it up. Let's talk, man. And yeah. Thank you guys for letting me do this, man. I love getting to come on and helping the black brothers all get together, man, and making this happen. It feels good, man. It feels good. Shout out to the chat room, bro.
Appreciate
for
you,
sure. We appreciate it. Also, just so 2 things I want to say before we get to everyone else. For the people that don't understand what YYC is, that is Calgary.
Right.
We've said YYC a lot in this episode and not actually said what it represents. So that's Calgary, just so that you're aware. And 2 is one day we're gonna have to do an old school like 90s wrestling podcast. I know exactly who I'm gonna reach out to.
Y'all gotta come on Fresh Take. We gotta return the favor. You guys gotta come on a Fresh Take.
Hey, I am ready to talk wrestling at any point. As a person that watches it to this day, I'm always in the loop.
I can't watch it now.
So
we got the One Fall podcast. So y'all come on the One Fall podcast anytime.
No doubt. I'm with you, coach. I can't really watch it now, but like 90s.
Yeah.
80s, I'm there.
But Coach, you're watching AEW, so we can talk about some AEW.
Yeah, I just watch AEW. That's all.
There you go. That's all you need to watch. That's all you need to watch.
My favorite wrestlers like Goldberg, and like that was like my stuff.
He just wrestled in Saudi Arabia like 2 months ago.
I watch for the contrast between all the shows. So I do watch New Japan Wrestling. I watch AEW and I watch WWE. So you can see.
Y'all remember him?
Oh, the man that injured
Ahmed Johnson.
The man that injured everybody.
That's right. Back then, when I was a kid, I didn't care about any of that, bro.
Yeah.
I grew up in Ahmed Stan.
It's a difference when they say realism, because that guy took it.
Ahmed was laying it in, bro. Ahmed was laying it in.
Coach.
My IG, real deal _Francis. And the only thing I'm working on is we're back in the gym tomorrow, trying to get over this L we just got from Lethbridge. But yeah, we're trying to go for that 5th ACAC title in a row, trying to get that national title. So we got big aspirations for this year, man. Really, really, really big aspirations. So hopefully we're not derailed again by the C word. Last year, our guys were hurt. Like we really thought we had a chance to win it all last year. Like we went out to Toronto, beat Humber, beat up Seneca, beat up Sheridan. Those are like top 5 programs in the country. Beat them up.
That talk.
And we were really, 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 really.
You need to retain in 2023. That's the goal. Retain in 2023 in the gym, not gain it. Retain in it.
Yeah. So like our aspirations as the coaching staff, as a group, is to win it this year, and then come back home and win it again at SAIT. So those are our goals. That's our game. That's our gearing up towards. So, but we got handed a slice of humble pie yesterday. So, that's about it.
All right. Fanfare.
You guys can follow me on IG, Chaz _Tenenbaum. You know what it is.
Yes.
Gotta be certified.
Sir.
And
Gotta be certified.
You know what it is. My personal IG is @ProChatterbox. I also have my podcast with Joseph, aka Baritone Levy, an affiliate of the show. We're gearing up for season 3. Season 3 is gonna add another dimension, and that's all I'm gonna say. Just stay tuned, and now you can keep in the know on IG @ChatterTalks and on the World Wide Web at www.chattertalks.tv.
Dope. And as for me, you can check me out on Instagram and Twitter @TheSenator. Don't forget to check out the Not So Soft podcast. Drops every Monday now with myself, Nino Rockwell, and Kino the Great. Also, don't forget to like, rate, subscribe, share, leave a comment on the Chatroom Podcast wherever you listen and you watch. Audio, video drops on the exact same time on Tuesdays. So make sure to do all that stuff. Just support the movement. Hit us up, follow our Instagram page @the.chatroompod. And if you have any takes, if you want to be a guest, make sure to email us at thechatRoomPod@gmail.com. We check those regularly. You can be a part of this too. I think we did it.
Yes,
I think we got one.
No doubt, man. Again,
our guest should close us out, yo.
Close it out. Close it out.
So I just
did another episode of the Chat Room Pod with you guys knocking down the West Coast guys. Calgary out here shutting it down. YYC. Just in case y'all didn't know, now you know. Calgary again. All y'all, Coach Francis, SA Senator, everybody, man. Thank you guys for having me on. Much appreciated to get on you guys' pod, and hopefully we can do it again someday.
Absolutely. For sure. More love, guys.
For sure. This has been the Chatroom Podcast, your favorite baller's favorite podcast, and we are out. Peace.
Fanfair. Peace.